This gentleman you're going to hear from a little bit later because he has some presentations to make on his own. But there are what we call thinkers and doers. And we're very fortunate to have a man that I've dubbed General Foreman because he can plan, he can organize, and he can implement. And that's something that, a combination that you can't beat. I'd like to call up the guy I call our General Foreman for outside projects, especially John Romanovich. That's why I would tell you who's getting the awards. It says, John Romanovich, there are thinkers, dreamers, and doers. The T.M.R. Museum is lucky to have our General Foreman who dreams the dream, thinks the thought, and gets it done. Thanks, 2010 for the T.M.R. Museum. And I have one last one. The gentleman is not here today because his wife had actually multiple surgery and just otherwise he would have been here. He always is here. And that's our Bob the Builder, Bobby Chisano. And I'm going to read it and then I will give it to either Bob Vigiano or Frank Mullane as the substitute for Bob Chisano. Awarded to the man who can build anything that the museum asks him to, anywhere at any time. The T.M.R. Scout Museum thanks him for his ability to organize major projects, develop them, and find the needed people to execute the plan, and always delivers a superb finished project. 2010, Bob Chisano. That's one to both of them. I'm going to relinquish the microphone for 1 minute because Bob Chisano wanted to present a couple of awards of his own that he calls the Bob the Builder Awards, and then I'll come back to those.
Thank you, Jim. Almost from its inception, when we started this museum about 13 years ago, in addition to building things, you had to fix things, and we formed a group initially called the Staten Island Good Guys, and it was headed up by Bob Chisano, and there was a little caricature on TV at the time called Bob the Builder, and in light of the blockhouse and everything else, we've got a little duplication here, but certainly it doesn't, we don't want to miss thanking someone. One gentleman that helps us quite a bit in fixing whatever needs to be done is John Dowd. John, could you come up a second? I'd like to give you the Bob the Builder Award for 2010. It's 2010 Bob the Builder Award in appreciation for your many hours of continuous and tireless service to the museum, especially for helping to maintain its archives and interiors. So John, we thank you ever so much. We've got two more. Okay. And these gentlemen have been up already, but for the yeoman job they did, they certainly deserve another special Bob the Builder Award. And one is for Mike the Birdman Herbert. Michael, you put down the donuts for a minute. The 2010 Bob the Builder Award in appreciation for your many hours of continuous and tireless service to the museum, especially for helping in the Kernigan Block House and the Kentucky Pavilion relocation, and whatever else we can think of. Thank you. And last but not least, and he's already been up here, but how could you not give a Bob the Builder Award and a Bob the Builder doll to Mr. John Romanovich? John, would you trot up here and collect your Bob the Builder doll? reads the 2010 Bob DeVoe Award in appreciation for your many hours of continuous and tireless service to the museum, especially for helping the Kernighan Blockhouse and Kentucky Pavilion relocation. Thank you so much, John. A great job. This will be in there for the reporter or something. Thank you for your patience. Okay.
In 1954, the old Queens Camp, Camp Mann, named for Aldrich Mann, first Queens Council president, was broken up into 3 camps based on the 3 camp divisions that had existed. They were Camps Lakeside, Camp Central, and Camp Kernighan, named in honor of longtime national and NYC Judge Scout Frederick Kernighan, 1876 to 1937. In search for an identity, the Camp Kernighan leadership decided in 1956 to create a gateway, which would also be the official symbol for Camp Kernighan going forward. It would consist of a blockhouse, this one that's here now, a stockade gate, and a tower, those long gone since the 1960s. At the same time in 1955 that this was going on, a very active and dedicated scouter named Dick Newbeck passed away at the age of 28. Dick had been a dedicated Camp Mann and Camp Kernighan staffer both before and after his Army service in Germany. And a third occurrence took place. Scouting was expanding rapidly into southeastern Queens, and old District 5 was broken up into a new smaller District 5 and a new District 11. Because of the incredible amount of time and dedication that Dick Newbeck gave to scouting in southeastern Queens, local scouters named their new district, Newbeck District, in his memory, and sponsored the building of this blockhouse at Camp Kernighan. During the past 54 years, the blockhouse has become a recognizable symbol of Camp Kernighan and Queens Scouting. In order to save it from crumbling, the 10 Mile River Scout Museum has moved it to the 10 Mile River Scout Camp's headquarters, and specifically right here to the museum picnic area, and rehabilitated it so that it would continue to exist as one of the ongoing symbols of T.M.R. We rededicate the blockhouse to Dick Newbeck and the Scouts and Scouters of T.M.R. on this date, July 31st, 2010. There is a plaque that says just what I read as far as history on the blockhouse. At this time, we have representatives and relatives of Dick Newbeck. It would be his niece, her husband, and their grandson. And I'd like to ask the Newbeck Scotto Foley family to please come up. We are going to present them now with the official key to the blockhouse, which says T.M.R. Blockhouse. We thank them for coming. I'd like to present you with the key. And I'd like to know if you just say a few words.
Thank you so much, Dr. Berman, for including us in today's ceremony. This really is kind of overwhelming for my family to know that, you know, my uncle, who passed away over 50 years ago, is still being remembered today for the wonderful work that he did. My mom would have loved to have been here. She's 84 years old and taking care of my 92-year-old dad. So, but she's his, Dick Newbeck was one of 5, and she's his only living sibling. And she's very honored that you included us today. And I just also want to let you know that I'm sure that my Uncle Dick is here with us today, and very proud of all of you for carrying on the tradition and the work with young people that he was so passionate about.